In this episode, we're going to talk about Rick Ross, the boss. Well, not so much Ross, but in the sense the man behind the boss. This is really just one fan's interpretation. And yes, I'm very much a fan of Ross's music. I have been since he's been working with Cool and Dre in the mid-2000s. He's also from my hometown, so there's a good chance this might come off with a slight bias, but I'm going to try to be fair. So, if you expect me to slander the man, sorry to disappoint you. But this is the internet, so I'm sure you can find plenty of places where that's going on, i.e. the cesspool of ignorance that is World Star Hip Hop. So, I'm sure you can go ahead and have fun over there. Well, get this out the way, I'm not part of his entourage, I don't know him, we've had mutual friends, but no, we have never met. Though I was fortunate enough to have a couple conversations with him online when he took to Facebook to ask fans how they would feel about Omarion joining the MMG roster. So, with that out the way, let's get to it. When I say the man behind the boss, it's because from where I'm standing and how I see it, I see the boss as an image. The boss is a representation of this man. I interpret him as a character in many ways like Miami's answer to Avon Barksdale, one of the main characters of the HBO TV show The Wire. When the average man hears the word boss, he thinks of a high-ranking official. However you feel about him or her, this person is a person that demands some level of respect. Good or bad, I'm sure that you would agree at this point in the sphere of hip-hop, he's become pretty hard to avoid. Ross's declaration of a boss is very much become a self-fulfilling prophecy, comparable to T.I. when T.I. declared himself King of the South. In both cases, their words have actually shaped their reality, and over the years has gradually moved from using this as a catchphrase to becoming an actual boss. He's developed a rather impressive business sense, something one can aspire to, by building excellent business relationships between Puff and Jay, the fast food franchises, Reebok shoe endorsements, though at the time of this recording he's in a little bit of hot water over a song lyrics, so it's unclear exactly how that will affect the endorsement, to cementing his own label, Maybach Music Group, and setting up working relationships in not one but three parent label groups, from Def Jam to Warner Music to Atlantic Records. And in one situation in particular, he was able to give one artist in his roster, Wale, something that most people in the industry never get, a second chance. And at this point, the MMG lineup, who critics would probably agree is the only roster in direct competition with Cash Money, but both crews have overlapping interests through DJ Khaled and We The Best Music Group, so you can't even really call it competition. Mr. Left Foot in the game now has done pretty damn good for himself. I liked him more when he was rapping fast, but that's just me. But that kind of success does come with a price. Besides the obvious prices of being a celebrity, it may be limiting to him creatively. The way how the boss image is built, it has a degree of one-dimensionality to it. Though he's not the exception, the Clips and Raekwon also have it as well as others, and we love them for that. But that degree of one-dimensionality also applies to his fans. Not all of them, but a lot of them. To a point that that's all his fans expect from him because that's all he's given them. So if he tries to give them something else, it may come off as, well, a little weird, for lack of a better word. Well, let me put it like this. If the boss gets bored with music, kind of the way like how Andre 3000 got bored with music and wanted to try something new, it may not go over too well. Now, artistically, I'm going to sidestep from Rick Ross for just a second to look at a less popular hip-hop artist by the name of Michael Larson, or more commonly known as Idea. Idea quickly rose to fame as the Blaze Battle champion in the early 2000s, but then decided to take a left turn. Instead of running after a deal, which he could have gotten quite easily due to his buzz, he said fuck the industry altogether and went independent via Rhyme Sayers Entertainment. In his releases like Firstborn, or more so The Many Faces of Oliver Hart, they were very intellectually geared records. At that point in his career, Idea was more so known as a thinking man's rapper. So it shouldn't be too surprising that he decided to take another left turn and start a band by the name of Face Candy, which was a mixture of jazz and freestyle rap. Originally, Idea thought that his hip-hop fans would probably perceive the move as awkward, but to the contrary, the Face Candy album was very well received. With very eclectic sound and lyrics that were immersive and very thought-provoking, perhaps for lack of a better word, he exposed himself to his audience. And he's not alone. Artists like Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, Joe Budden, Big Crit, so on, are also in this category. He, as an artist, gave a lot of his personal views on this record, about how he felt about life, society, and the universe. It was very much like you never met him, but you felt like you knew him. You felt like you knew him as a person. So much so that when he died, it felt more like, well, actually it felt less like your favorite rapper died. It felt more like a good friend of yours that died, that you only get to see every once in a while. It affects you a lot differently than the average, everyday, insert your favorite rapper here, top 5 dead or alive, shit that we always go through. Now, where the hell am I going with this? 2 hip-hop artists who are literally like night and day. Well, the way how I respond to a Rick Ross record and the way how I respond to an Idea record are 2 totally different ways. Idea's music was very cerebral, but it was something about the man, something about his spirit that resonated with me, you know? And over the years, I was able to build a personal connection with his music. Again, you never met him, but you felt like you knew him. You know, he brought something to the table that you understood, that you could relate to. Now with the Boss image, I don't get the same feeling. And it's rather unfortunate. I doubt, as much as I like his music, I'm not sure if I would ever be able to build a personal connection to it. In layman's terms, I doubt that as a fan that I will ever get to know Will, the man behind the Boss. And I doubt that other fans will ever get to know Will, who he is personally. What does Will think about things? What's Will's stance on religion, healthcare? Have you ever had your heart broke? Child support bullshit, taking your kids to Chuck E. Cheese? In general life experiences that I can relate to. Now, with Mastermind coming right around the corner, you're probably going to hear the typical World Star YouTube comment, I really don't even like to bring this up, but I feel it's something that needs to be addressed because it always comes up when we talk about Rick Ross. Officer Ricky. At this point, it's cliche as hell, but fuck it. I'm going to just go and address this right now. Even if I wasn't a fan of his music, it literally is irrelevant at this point. Really, how long are we going to joke about this, and how long is this joke really going to ride for? We've been saying this shit since he came in the game for the last, 7 to 8 years. In Miami, that CO shit is old as hell news. We knew that before he got his contract. Look, I'm from Opelika, and if you're from Opelika, Carroll City, Liberty City, yeah, we know he used to work for DOC. We still bump his shit and been bumping his shit. Next. I mean, when I hear shit like this, something Immortal Technique said comes to mind. You can't change your past, but you can change your future. And anyone who tells you different is a fucking lethargic devil. This industry is not guaranteed. You have to do the best that you can to support yourself. More than likely, he took that job because it was one of the better opportunities that he had at the time. If the Hustling single flopped, we wouldn't be having this conversation, and I sincerely doubt that any of you out here would be putting up a dime to pay his bills. It is what the fuck it is. If you don't like his music, that's fine. We're all different people, especially in hip-hop. You might not like his lyrical content, that's fine. You might not like what he represents. But I feel that the side comments about his past, i.e. Officer Ricky, at this point are nothing more than cheap shots. Being a man worth $50 million is a lot different than being a wage slave making $22,000 per year. His past employment at DOC has nothing to do with his business situation that he's created at 3 major label companies, has nothing to do with the Reebok endorsement, and definitely has nothing to do with him being a Ciroc boy. I mentioned police corruption in previous videos, and Miami is no different. If you think a badge equals Officer Timson, Richard Pryor reference, what you should do is go to Netflix.com and look up a little documentary by the name of Cocaine Cowboys and see what a badge really means in Miami. Sometimes it means a lot, sometimes not much. Or if you want something recent, have a look at Opelika Police Captain Anthony Balome, who's looking at 40 years for distributing cocaine, oxycodone, and ecstasy. I would say this, if Ross worked for TNT Division or he worked for DEA Miami Division, I would believe every fucking word he said. It's strange how some of these motherfuckers are so obsessed with street credibility, so much so that they'll completely overlook the quality of the music. And I'm sure that most of y'all heard it before. I ain't buying his shit, he ain't no real nigga, whatever the fuck that means, but that's a completely different topic for another day. I see the street credibility as a guise for wanting to be respected. But street credibility is a double-edged sword. It can be self-destructive and it can hinder your career. Case in point, Cassidy the Hustler, whose career has never fully recovered since his attempted murder charge in 2005, when him and 3 other guys ran up on some boys with AK-47s. Choppers, fun to talk about on record, not so much fun in real life. Another rapper whose career has taken a serious blow is Gucci Mane because of repeated trouble with the law and repeated incarcerations. If you're smart with their finances, you can make money in jail. Notice how I said if. But you can make a lot more money as a free fucking man. And it basically comes down to this. For everybody on YouTube watching this right now, everybody who wants to be in this industry, break it simple. Do you want to be about that life or do you want to be successful? Do you want to be in the trap at 4:30 in the motherfucking morning? Or you want to be in the project hallways talking about how you be in the project all day? Or do you want to be on a private island? A question that more of us should be asking. But in closing, this is just the opinion of one unsigned rapper on the outside looking in, hence the title IMO. Maybe he's simply not that type of artist to really connect with his fans, like Metallica shooting pool with fans that's been going to their concerts for 20 years. That might not say much about his legacy. He came in the game, made $200 million or $300 million, and bounced. But with a net worth of $50 million, and every red cent is truly as hell self-made, with MTV's recognition as one of the hottest MCs in the game and the front cover of Rolling Stone, I suppose it would be safe to say that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Give him something to engrave in stone. Thanks for watching.
Shining bright, who am I for you to criticize? Shameless, what you done? Until then I'ma be a D-boy, I'm ashamed to say. Until then I'ma be a D-boy, ashamed to say. Shameless, I'm ashamed, baby. What you done? Until then I'm a D-boy, I'm ashamed to say. Until then I'm a deep, ashamed to say.